The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Such as Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Haney.
7:30 in the morning beside the Wayne Street Park.
Change some of our habits around campus. Faculty and staff.
Good evening and welcome to SUTV Evening News. I'm Miranda Haney. This January, Dr. Janet Dudley-Eshbach was named one of the Daily Record's influential Marylanders of 2016 in education. Brooke Reese sat down this week with the Salisbury University president to discuss how she feels about this accolade.
Well, it's humbling. When you think about all of the people in the state of Maryland who could get this acknowledgement, it's an honor, clearly, and also humbling. It's exciting. I am at the point in my life where I don't know that I believe that there are individuals who are truly great. I think that those of us who get this type of recognition need to be grateful to everyone who's part of our organization. I truly am student-centered. My reason for existence, the reason for this university, is the students. So students should know that about me. They should also know that I like to have fun. I think that compared to many presidents, while there are many demands on my time, I am approachable. I'm looking forward to the next snowfall so that I can challenge some students to join me in a snowball fight. But what to know about me, I'm a person, like anybody else, and really value the opportunities I've been given. I appreciate the honor being recognized for the second time now as an influential Marylander, but my heart and soul are here on the Eastern Shore and very much with our students.
The Plaza Tapatia on South Salisbury Boulevard will not be closing, according to a sign posted on its front door. Earlier this year, the independent blog Lower Eastern Shore News reported the restaurant would be, quote, turned down and become a new Royal Farms store. But Plaza Tapatia employees confirmed today the report was just a false rumor. One building in Salisbury that is being torn down, however, is the Temple Hill Motel. Brooke Reese has more.
Last week, the Salisbury University Foundation purchased a 6-acre property along Route 13. The $6 million acquisition holds home to not only the Temple Hill Motel behind me, but also the Court Plaza shopping complex. I sat down with SU Foundation Chairman Bob Moore to see what's next for this property.
The very first thing on the agenda is to take down the Temple Hill Motel and completely demolish it as anyone would see riding by it now. That will probably be turned into a parking lot initially. The Court Plaza complex as it is will remain just like it is for the foreseeable future. We're going to honor all of the leases that are currently in the complex.
And one of those local businesses is Shore Cycles, a motor sports shop co-owned by none other than a Salisbury University alum.
That'll definitely lift up this area of Salisbury. And then as far as, there's about 4 other businesses in this shopping center that we've all been here quite a long time. So we're all feeling good about this area. We like being here. And if the university decides to develop it in the future, that's great. We'd love to be a part of it. But it seems to be like there's a very open dialogue between us and the University Foundation.
For SUTV Evening News, I'm Brooke Reese reporting.
Thanks, Brooke. According to the CDC, nearly half of the 20 million new STDs diagnosed each year are among young people aged 15 to 24 years. Victoria Lentz is the Director of Health Services here at SU and has some tips on how seagulls can keep themselves safe.
Sexually transmitted infections are very common among college-age students, and probably the most common infection that we see is chlamydia. I definitely recommend condoms if you're going to be engaging in sex. Know your partner, ask questions. When you have sex with a partner, you're having sex with everybody that they've ever had sex with, and I have this great chart we like to use. It shows like how many partners you come in contact with, and this just goes up to 12. And also, you know, sometimes I think students make poor decisions when they maybe have been drinking too much. So again, sort of have a plan, tell a friend, don't let me go home with anybody, you know, have the buddy system.
Health Services provides free condoms, STD tests, emergency contraception, and birth control in their office in Holloway Hall. Stay tuned this semester for more health tips from SUTV News. And now Stevie Marie has this week's weather forecast.
Well, it was a rainy and cool day for us here in Salisbury. We had a lot of cloud cover earlier, but that's starting to move off as we head on into the night. Now looking at our temps, not looking too bad. 43 degrees in Dover as well as here in Salisbury. 42 degrees for my hometown in Baltimore. And Ocean City is the cool spot right at 40 degrees. Now our winds are going to be a little bit more intense than they were yesterday. A little bit stronger along the western portion of the peninsula, but for the most part, those northwesterly winds are going to cause our temperatures and our conditions to feel a bit cooler as we head on into the evening. Now our temps are going to drop down to the mid to upper 20s. Now that cloud cover is starting to pass through, so that's going to allow more cool and chillier air to welcome into the evening. But if you're going to be on campus tomorrow, make sure you bring a jacket because wind conditions are going to be between 15 to 20 miles per hour, so it's definitely going to be breezy out there. Now, looking ahead, as we move on into our 7-day forecast, we see a mixture of sun and clouds for the end of your work week, weekend, and beginning of next week. Conditions are going to be pretty warm and comfortable for your weekend with highs in the 50s and the 60s. Miranda?
Thanks, Stevie. I'm sure looking forward to that warmer weather later. Some SU students play sports, some join clubs, and some write novels. Abby Snow is a freshman at SU studying international business and finance, but when she's not studying foreign affairs, she's writing her very first novel, Resubmerged. Abby's here with me in the studio to talk a little bit more about this project. Hi, Abby. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thanks for being with us on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. So tell us a little bit more about your book.
So basically, Resubmerged is a fantasy novel. The main character, Rosalini Kaliri, is from a different realm, and it's called Dunchoria. So everyone in Dunchoria has a particular power, and there are a lot of people who are interested in Rose, and she's not quite sure why. So when things start to get complicated in Dunchoria, she decides to go to the human world and live with her aunt and uncle. When she gets there, she realizes that things get even more complicated, and she meets a boy and then another boy. And basically throughout the story, she's trying to figure out who she is, what she's capable of, and who she can trust.
Great.
Yeah.
And what inspired this kind of story?
So I've been writing this story since I was a freshman in high school, so it's been a couple years going. But I had a lot of dreams and I used to write them down. So basically there are like 4 or 5 dreams that I incorporated into this novel and then kind of built off of those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
With all of, while you were in high school, I guess you must have been doing so many different things, maybe playing sports, a club. How did you find time and inspiration to write a novel?
I've kind of been writing ever since I can remember, so it was kind of just something that naturally happened. But I always made time for it because it's something I love doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What do you hope your readers get from reading Resubmerged?
So Resubmerged is a fantasy novel, so basically I just hope that they can read it and kind of escape reality for a while and just have an enjoyable read overall.
Great.
Yeah.
Where is the future of your writing career, do you think?
So I am not majoring in anything writing related, but I do intend to continue writing novels, whether it's related to Resubmerged or completely different. So if at some point it kicks off, then yeah, I'll make it my career, but as of right now, it's just a side hobby.
Okay. And when do you anticipate Resubmerged to finally hit the shelves?
So as of right now, I'm planning for March or April, but I am self-publishing and this is my first book, so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go, and it's kind of been a long process, so that is the plan, but we'll see.
Yeah. Do you have any events to kind of celebrate the arrival of the story?
Yeah, well actually, for my cover, I decided to pick one of the main characters in the book, and it's this guy, and he has a birthmark on his shoulder. So I wanted him to be on the cover so that readers can kind of understand like what one of the big points in this story is. And I needed someone to model for me, so I found this guy. He actually goes to Salisbury, and he kind of looks like the character, and he offered to model. So what I'm doing is, if you can go to my website, it's abbysnow.org, and go sign up for notifications. If you can tell me what his name is and what frat he belongs to, the first 3 people will get a free copy of the book, and I'll sign it.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, thank you, Abby, for being with us today and speaking a little bit more about your book. I can't wait to read it, so we'll see how it goes. All right. Millions tuned in to the 59th Annual Grammy Awards Sunday. The ceremony was full of surprises and unique performances, and students on campus had some opinions about the controversy.
I mean, Adele definitely had the right mentality when she gave the album to Beyonce. You know, Hello was a great track, but that was the only song that I heard off of the album. Lemonade, on the other hand, was a huge, massive success, and culturally it had a huge impact.
I personally haven't listened to either album in like the entirety, but I do think Beyonce worked really hard and deserved it. I think there might be some like behind the scenes stuff going on that we're not aware of, which is why Adele won.
So Beyonce's album was good, like I said, and Adele's album was great because more people bought it. Like it's the majority that wins the album of the year. That's what I feel.
I definitely think it wasn't fair. I definitely think Grammys tend to favor white artist over black artist for album of the year.
I saw one interview from Adele, and I thought she was cool. She was real humble about her Grammy, but that's all I really know about it.
That's really it. I mean, I'm sure it was great. Adele is great, but I'm more of a Beyonce fan, so.
I wish Sturgill Simpson won Grammy of the Year, or Album of the Year, I mean, because it was flawless. Everybody else's was good, but his was up there.
Chance the Rapper won. Like he never sold one record, and he won 3 Grammys.
I thought it was surprising. It's cool. I really like Chance, so seeing him win was like really, I felt proud of him almost.
Not only because he wasn't even signed to a label. He did it without selling anything. So I feel like it's kind of like showing artists, like, you don't have to do all these things to be successful, as long as, you get out there and you just show your stuff.
And that's all we have for you tonight. Join us next week for more news, weather, and more. From all of us here at SUTV Evening News, I'm Miranda Haney. Good night.